Bill Maher humiliated Sean Penn, and during the heated conversation with him, Maher exposed the disgusting behavior of entitled celebrities, to which Sean Penn responded with stunning silence. Maher said it a few times already. We need to talk with each other. We need to find common ground. He said it as a standard, and this based attitude from him was especially clear when he had this painfully awkward conversation with Penn and tried to convince him about how insane Hollywood has gone, especially with their Trump derangement syndrome, where they cannot even be happy if something good happens and command Trump. According to Maher, if you have an ounce of ethics, you show basic humanity when something bad happens. If someone dies, even if you hated their politics the day before, you should be happy if something good happens, even if it is done by Trump. And so during the conversation with Sean Penn, Maher explained how these entitled Hollywood celebrities and talk show hosts don't understand that even free expression has limits if you are talking about a person who died in violence. But according to Maher, woke Hollywood is locked into the media, where they never hear anything positive about the red side. Maher said to Penn, "Because you are locked into one media side, you people think he's Voldemort with a spray tan. You can pretend to be insane, but you can't pretend to be sane." And this is a harsh truth about these woke celebrities, as Maher explained to Penn, who listen to only one-sided media that never wants anyone in their audience to know anything sketchy about the blue team. Maher also shared with his audience that Democrats have to choose sanity over wokeness. He thinks sanity is the opposite of performative cruelty, period. So when he tried to convince Penn how pathetically insane Hollywood has gone in its tribal reflexes, he wasn't fishing for applause. Maher described TDS as a panic that turns dialogue into contamination. He said the goal is sanity under pressure, not surrender to a reflex. The host tied it to a broader 2025 pattern of confronting woke norms. Maher continued with his talk with Penn, criticizing celebrities for not accepting anyone who dares to have a different opinion. Maher said they became the birthers. They became the woke party. They are against different opinions. That's not what I believe in. According to Maher, you cannot turn any tragedy, especially one such as a horrible disaster that happened to conservatives, into a political war. As Maher said, it was a very easy test to show humanity, to be kind, but they couldn't pass it. Maher's sharpest jab about woke celebrities hating Trump was clean and repeated. He makes people crazy, but he's not making me crazy, the host said. The line came after Penn described the split personality claim. Maher said the actor was doing performance art of sanity. He added that Trump does performance art of insanity and keeps winning the scene. The reason Maher said this is that haters cannot stop reacting. The showman understands the crowd better than the scolds. The audience heard the logic and the punchline all at once. The humiliation worked because the standard was small and clear. Penn said meeting a president would achieve nothing and that influence was zero. The actor sounded resigned and confident about that limit. Maher snapped back with the practical counter, "Bad attitude," he said, and then explained the nature of persuasion. "He's a guy who frequently seems to go by what the last thing he heard was," Maher said. He added a simple note about how politics is personal for Trump. "It's all about personal relationships," the host said. Then he joked about access and proximity to power. "I'll get you an invite. He's a star away. He'd like to meet you," Maher quipped. The subtext was that persuasion had become uncool on the left. Then Maher dropped a hypocrisy bomb from an old story. Penn once told a fun story about visiting Fidel Castro. The actor's teenage daughter refused to shake the dictator's hand over the anti-gay policy. Penn later bragged that he was proud of her for that refusal. He also defended the meeting and said that Castro had learned a lot and changed. Maher scoffed and contrasted that grace with the Trump freeze. "If only you had the same grace for conservative Americans as you do for a literal communist who put gay people in labor camps," he said. The line turned selective compassion into a mirror. The test became a bright light on a double standard. And then he went back to the award show image to make the wound sting. The room itself became the character. If that room would boo a gentle sentence, he said, the culture's real rule is exposed. Tribe first, person last. That is a chilling diagnosis, and it explains why a room can stand as one for a slogan, but freeze when a human truth costs them nothing but points on Twitter. It's also why Maher won't let the conversation drift into academic jargon. He keeps dragging it back to the obvious. The absence of the line "we condemn the killing" wasn't neutral. It was evidence. His argument is that silence in some contexts is not confusion. It is a choice to obey the tribe, and that is where the skepticism he gets from people like Marc Maron becomes part of the plot. Maron says Marr is desperate for relevance, but Marr's answer is a dare. If relevance means defending the most basic sentence in public life, then call it whatever you want. The exchange sat inside a year of similar fights for the host. He told Democrats to choose sanity over wokeness or lose elections. He argued that a culture of tribal refusals hurts persuasion and policy. He also criticized progressive branding that centers purity signals over wins. Comedian Marc Maron ridiculed the tone and called it desperate. D.L. Hughley blasted Marr over his stances on wokeness and the White House visit. Conservative activists praised Marr for taking risks that some avoided. The pushback showed real costs for the real-time posture. The Penn segment showed why Marr thinks the costs are worth it. The bigger lesson here is not just about 1 week or 1 room. It is about a standard that we can all actually remember. We live in a world of massive platforms, where a handful of words reach millions in seconds. That means the small test matters more, not less. You can be wrong about policy and still be right about compassion. You can be fierce in argument and still draw the line at cheering a death. The world needs to see famous people lead at that exact line. That echoes the call he makes when he says Democrats have to pick sanity now. It also explains why a right-wing activist like Charlie Kirk can praise him for speaking against the woke, not because they agree on policy, but because the human rule crosses party lines. Thus, Bill Maher humiliated celebrities, including Sean Penn, because they failed the easiest test in public life. He humiliated the awards room that couldn't spare one humane sentence. He doesn't need a scandal to make the point. He just needs 5 seconds of honesty, or 5 seconds of silence, to show who's who. He has roasted woke celebrities for losing touch with reality, he's needled Hollywood egos in live TV monologues, and he's told anyone who will listen, if your compassion turns off because the wrong person died, your politics swallowed your humanity. Now, if you want a standard you can use tomorrow, it's 5 seconds long. We condemn the killing, full stop, print it. Practice it, and when the next storm hits, watch who can say it and who can't. The world will grade them in real time. If this line spreads, the culture gets a little saner. If it doesn't, at least the mask is off. And that clarity is better than the fake brave poses we've been buying for years. That is true whether you're in an awards room, a podcast studio, or a city trying to plan for wildfires without letting ideology get in the way. It's true whether you're interviewing a controversial director about justice or swapping jokes with a comedian who thinks you're chasing the spotlight. Don't forget to subscribe.